This is Gemara Baba Basra Daf Kuf Nun Ches. As we're closing in on this 9th parak of Baba Basra, we'd like today's share once again to be an incredible Zchus Rafua Shlema for Tinaik ben Miriam Ahuva B'siyata D'Shemaya, the Koyach HaTorah should continue having the most incredible hashbais on Tinaik ben Miriam Ahuva. We're picking up from the bottom of Kuf Nun Zayin Amid Beis. We are 8 lines from the bottom, Meisvei. We finished off yesterday with the Gemara concluding a bunch of halachis. Ravina taught us Madura Kama de Ravashi. First he thought that the Rishon was kind. Then he said the Basra was kind. Then he said, Yachlaiku, and we ended off Yachlaiku. So Meisvei, on that last detail, asks the Gemara from a Brisa, L'shvach karkois keitzad. How do you collect for the shvach the improvements of the karka? You sold the field and improved the Baal Chayv Tarfa, and the Baal Chayv comes and he seizes the field from the buyer. When the buyer comes to collect that which is rightfully his, the Karen he gets a mishubadim. Says the Gemara, V'im but based on what we just said a moment ago, that what's the halacha? Yachloiku. So why did the Brisa say that you collect full karen, full shavach? It should be chatzi shavach mi ba'ilei, because halach should be yachloiku. Says the Gemara, guess what? Chatzi shavach, which of course is a bit of a stretch, and really just sheds incredible light how you have to know all the different Gemaras, because this is a maskana of that Gemara of shvach karkais. And even though over there it sounded like the maskana was that the karen is minchas mishubadim and the shvach is from the chasim nechayrin, our sugya is concluding that you do not collect the full shvach, you only collect chatzi, only half of the shvach, because we are paskening yachlaiku. We move over to today's daf Kuf Nun Ches Amid Aleph, teaches the Mishnah. Says the Mishnah, a short amud with a Mishnah. In the previous Mishnah, we began different cases that we had to figure out the order of Yerusha based on who was nifter first when there was a unfortunate situation that multiple family members died in the same scenario, in the same nefila, a house fell, etc. Says the Mishnah, similarly, if a house falls on one of Al-Ishtay and on his wife, they both die. The question is, who died first, husband or wife? And basically, the takeaway question is, who is going to inherit the wife? Yarshei Abal Mrim Isha Meisa Rishain. So the husband's Yarshim say the woman died first. Of course, that means the husband inherits his wife, and then the Yarshim of the husband, will inherit everything. Whereas Yarshei Isha say no, Mrim Bal Meis Rishain. And therefore, the woman's own estate are inherited by them. So what's the halacha? Says the Gemara, the Nechasim are in their chazaka. The same achlaik is Beishami Beis Hillel. And the Rashbam over here points out what is becheskas, and the Gemara is going to explain to us becheskas mi hilkach lav lekamei kai elam hachi garsinik suba. So the end of the Mishnah, we have different girsais, so when we see the Gemara, we'll have more clarity. But the Mishnah concludes, Ksuba b'cheskes yershei abal, nachasim anechnasim v'yotzim imah, and the properties that go with it are b'cheskes yershei av. So we right away turn over to Amid Beis, in which the Gemara dives into that precise question. That Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel just taught us that it's b'cheskes. Beis Hillel just taught us that it is Nechasim becheskas, and the question is, what does that mean? So as we turn over to Kuf Nun Ches Amid Beis, says the Gemara, the question that the Rashbam just taught us, the Gemara is going to ask, becheskas mi. So Rav Yechanan Amar says, Rav Yechanan becheskas yarshei abal. Rav Lazar Amar becheskas yarshei isha. Reish Lakish Bar Kapara Amar yachlaik v'chein dana Bar Kapara, and similarly Bar Kapara taught halalu ba'in liyarish v'halalu ba'in liyarish yachlaiku. So 3 different opinions, what exactly Nechasim b'cheskasin of Beis Hillel means, whether it means Yarshei Abal, whether it means Yarshei Ish, or whether it means Yachlaiku. 3 different shitas, and of course this is all in arguing on Beis Shammai, who said Yachlaiku. So according to Bar Kapara, comes out very interesting that there's really no machlekes. Everyone is in agreement that it is the Achloiku. And we continue with the next Mishnah, which again, a very similar case, just changing the parties slightly. Novla Bayis Alava Val Imai, on one and his mother, Elu ve'elu Maidim Sheach Leiku. So now says the Mishnah, both of them agree, of course, a direct continuation of the previous Mishnah is, which of course is Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. They're both going to agree in this scenario. When a house falls upon one and his mother, everyone agrees that the mother's estate is split. Amar Rav Akiva, Maida ani bezu, shanachasim b'cheskasin. Says Rav Akiva, in this scenario, I agree that nechaskim remain in their possessions. Whoever had them until now will keep them. Amar Loi ben Azai. Ben Azai responds, Al chalukin anu mitztairin. Says Ben Azai, we're in a pain over the shailas, over that which is a machlekes. Shabbos alachik aleinu as hashavim. In the one case which is unanimous, in the one case that Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel both agree, still Rabbi Akiva, you're coming to argue. Ben Azai expressing his dismay that he doesn't understand what exactly is going on over here. Says the Gemara, what did Rabbi Akiva mean? The same exact shayla we had a moment ago. What did Beis Hillel mean when Beis Hillel said nechasim bechazkasan? Asks the Gemara, what does Rabbi Akiva mean when he says nechasim bechazkasan? Bechazkas me. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Amar bechazke yarshei ha'im. Rav Zira Amar b'chazke yarshei haben. Machlaikas whether it's the yarshei of the ben or of the mother. Kisalik Rav Zira come b'shitasi Rav Illa. When Rav Zira went up to Eretz Yisrael, he was chayzer and he followed the position of Rav Illa. Come Rabba b'shitasi Rav Zira. But then Rabba follows the position of Rav Zira. Amar Rav Zira Shema Mina, a famous line. Shema Mina, says Rav Zira, you know, we see from over here, Avira d'Eretz Yisrael machkim. When he went up to Eretz Yisrael, he realized what the appropriate halacha was, says Rav Zira, and he comments, seemingly on himself, that the Avira of Eretz Yisrael makes one smarter. Says the Gemara of Etaimamai, why Lamaisa was Rav Zira chayzer into the sheet of Rav Illa, Amar Rabbi Aholva chzuku nachala, ba'isa shevet. Since the Nachla was already Mochzak, who was already considered to be in the possession of that Shevet, the Shevet of whom? Of the mother who she came from. Therefore, Nechasim B'chezkasan remains in that place. And that is the reason why Rav Zira is chayzer to the opinion of Rav Illa, which is that the Nechasim go to the Yarshei Ha'im. And we continue and we conclude really with the end of the Mishnah, which was on the bottom of Kuf Nun Chesem Beis, Amrulai ben Azai Chaluka Anu Mitztarim V'chulu. The Ben Azai was expressed, I don't understand, I can't get the cases where there's a machlekes, and this one case, which Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel agrees, still Ben Azai, you are arguing, says the Gemara, still Rav Zera, you are arguing, says the Gemara, that which Ben Azai said, Amar Rav Simlai, Ada Amra. The statement of Ben Azai teaches us, Azai, Ben Ada Amra, Ben Azai Talmid Chaver to Rabbi Akiva Hoya. The Ben Azai was on the same level of Rabbi Akiva, and that is the reason why when Rabbi Akiva said, Nechasim b'chezkasan, Ben Azai could express such digamei. Why? Because the words of Ben Azai were, Deka'amar le shebasa. Because Ben Azai said, when you come, he addresses Rabbi Akiva as a you. Says Rav Simla, you know, we learn out from here that Ben Azai and Rabbi Akiva both are on the same playing field. And we conclude today's share with one more halacha. 4 lines on the bottom. Sholchem itam ben shavo b'nichsei aviv v'chay aviv u'meis b'nai mitzvah l'kuchais. Says the Gemara, ben shalava, excuse me, I read that wrong. Ben shalava b'nichsei aviv, a son who borrows money against the properties of his father in his father's lifetime, u'meis, and the father dies, b'nai mitzvah miyada l'kuchais. The son can take it from the purchasers, the l'kuchais. And this is the kasha, this is something that is difficult in the dinei mamadis. You know, the truth is we're going to pause over here because this statement is really going to take us well into tomorrow's daf. So we'll pick it up actually from Shalcham Mitam in the next year, B'siyata Dishmaya.